Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me again. I just want to start off by apologising for the lack of content yesterday, particularly the live stream I usually do on a Sunday night. I was approached by quite a large YouTuber actually, who offered to come on a live stream with me and do an interview. And when I tried to set it up, I didn't get very much in the way of response from them. In fact, I didn't get anything at all. And by the time it transpired that it wasn't going to happen, it didn't leave me a lot of time to plan anything else in its place. So I thought, what the hell, let's have the night off. Anyway, here I am back again. Now, what I wanted to talk to you about was Runcorn and Helsby, the election that happened up there. Obviously, we know that Sarah Pochin is the Reform MP for Runcorn and Helsby, duly elected in the by-election on May the 1st. And I wanted to leave this video a few days just to let the dust settle a bit. Now, to remind you of Runcorn and Helsby, here it is here, Runcorn and Helsby County constituency, and it's up in Cheshire, and you can see there's an electorate of 70,950. That figure was taken as of 2023, so not really that recent. You could probably bet your bottom dollar that's gone up by a couple of thousand in a couple of years since. And as we know, Mike Ainsbury, the former Labour politician, Labour MP, ended up having to step away because he got caught smacking a constituent in a pub car park one night. There's no other way to put it. Now, as you know, Sarah Pochin turned over quite a healthy Labour majority of somewhere in the region of 14,000 and ended up winning by 6 votes. That's after a recount where she originally won by 4 votes. They had a recount and it turned out it was 6. But what interests me is some things that went on with what I would call smaller parties, and one in particular. And I wanted to show you the inconsistency, or rather the similarity, and see what you think. Now, we start the story not with Runcorn and Helsby, but with the Tooting by-election in 2016. I want to pull up the figures here. You can see this is a list of the candidates from that election. Now, if you have a look, you can see it was a Labour gain. Rosina Allen Khan with 17,894 votes, 55% of a 42.5% turnout. These turnouts are pathetic. Nothing's ever going to change if they stay the way they are. But if you have a look down the list, there's 2 names there that I want you to remember. Monster Raving Loony, Alan Howling Lord Hope, and English Democrat Graham Moore, 54 votes and 50 votes respectively, 0.2% of the turnout. 54 votes and 50 votes. Now, one thing to bear in mind, and I've heard this from a couple of sources, when they do these counts at the elections, they're done in bundles of 25 to 50. So 50 at a time, effectively one bundle. Let's have a look at the results of the recent election. And as we can see there, Reform Sarah Pochin gained a seat with 12,645 votes, 38%, just over, of the turnout, again, of 46.2%, which is awful, absolutely awful. More people need to be politically engaged. I can't stress that enough. Let's have a look, shall we? Remember the 2 names that I told you about. Monster Raving Loony, Howling Lord Hope, 128 votes. 128. English Constitution Party, Graham Moore, 50 votes. 50. Let's have a look at the previous election. Howling Lord Hope, 54. So he's gained. Graham Moore, 50 votes in 2016. 50 votes now in 2025. And what you've got to think is these constituencies, and remember what I said about the size of the bundles, these constituencies are miles apart, completely different demographic, 9 years apart, different populations in each place. Yet Graham Moore gets 50 votes each time. Strange, isn't it? How it's exactly 50. Why not 100? Why not 25? Why not anything else? Why 50? There was election interference, or alleged election interference, we'll call it, in Runcorn and Helsby as well, where there was thousands of leaflets, all paid for, sent to Royal Mail to be delivered to residents of Runcorn and Helsby. They never arrived. Is it something about that word, English, or one of the smaller parties not getting a look in? But let's go back to 50 votes. If you were to put Graham into 40,000 elections or by-elections over the course of time, you know how many times this result could crop up out of 40,000? Once. We've checked and we've double checked. So it's a 40,000 to one shot, different constituencies, different people, different place, completely different time, nearly a decade apart. And you get exactly 50 votes. A lot of people, if I come out on May the 1st or May the 2nd and said something about this, would think, oh, it's a sore loser, go away. But it's odd. Very odd. Even you've got to agree with that one. Now, I can tell you, I received an email this morning with legal paperwork on it, which is going to be submitted to the relevant authority this week, which will want or will require an investigation into this irregularity. Whether it turns over the main result or not remains to be seen. It probably wouldn't. But this is where we've got the issue in this country, where smaller parties with lower budgets are not getting a fair crack at a whip like anybody else. You look at it, 50 votes, 10 years apart nearly, in two different places. Strange. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below, and be interested to hear your point of view. I've put a bit more detail on this on my Rumble channel as well, on a video I did there, so please go and have a look. If you hit the like button, if you could be ever so kind, because it helps spread this around, share it on your socials, subscribe, and as always, I look forward to talking to you soon. Toodaloo.